This month is Women's History Month, and I'm trying to this month highlight some books by female identifying authors with female identifying characters. And so this week I chose Roll for Initiative by Jaime Formato. This is a really sweet middle school level book, a realistic fiction, and it's a topic that's a little bit near and dear to me, which is Dungeons and Dragons. So you know that we have really avid Dungeons and Dragons club here at our school, and I've been using a game called Media Monsters to teach some of my media literacy lessons. It's just something that's very fun and exciting for me, and I love that in this book it is a female identifying character who is the player, because I know that in our school we have plenty of female identifying and non-binary folks playing in our Dungeons and Dragons club, but historically it's been more of a kind of male-centric area. So I'm really glad that this is changing, because there's no reason why we can't all enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. So this is a fun book that I think you will enjoy. I'm going to read the first chapter and probably a little bit of the second chapter. Chapter 1. Oh, and I also love that the beginning of the chapter has the 12-sided little icon there. Okay, chapter 1. I'm never going to make it home. Nope. Instead, I'll be here, cowering at the back of this overcrowded bus ramp, squeaking nervous inquiries and fluttering my arms like a lost baby penguin until there's no one left to ignore me. The sun will go down, and I will drop on the sidewalk in exhaustion and pass the lonely night on a bed of cement and dirt-hardened gum chunks. Mom won't even notice my empty room. She'll creep in late from work, careful not to wake me as she scuttles past my door in the darkness, then sleep like the snoring dead till morning. Devin most certainly will not notice my absence, as he is 2,500 miles away, living it up in California, giving exactly zero hex about the safety and well-being of his poor small sister back in Florida. Or the fact that my current predicament is all his fault. I should be halfway home by now, riding shotgun and enjoying the sweet AC of his pickup, not contemplating the 8 sprawling bus lines outside school like I'm searching for an escape route out of the endless catacombs. A hard nudge to the shoulder sends me flying nose first into the backpack of the 8th grader in front of me. I jump back mortified. The nudger, an extra tall boy in head-to-toe camo, mumbles a weak "excuse me." Without a backward glance, he slides into the line on my right. Normally, I would feel a little more offended, but right now all I can do is admire his superior intellect. He knows what bus to get on. The girl attached to the backpack I bumped into has now turned and is looking at me all like, "Excuse me?" So I join the club and mutter a pitiful "excuse me" of my own. She tosses her long blonde hair, then gives a little shrug like she wasn't just staring daggers at me, and slides into the line at my left. Which creeping blob of noise and indifference to choose? My hesitation has put me dead last no matter which line I pick. By the time I'm close enough to catch a glimpse of the driver, who I can only pray is the same as this morning, the other buses will be closing up and driving away. No margin of error here. My face is an embarrassment fire, dripping with sweat and overheated toddler vibes, but I can't waste this interaction. In the swirling hot mess of preset friend groups, post-bell teachers, and noise-blocking earbuds, I finally have someone's attention. Too bad I had to face-plant into her to get it. "Hey!" It comes out too loud, and the way she wrinkled her nose tells me I shouldn't have grabbed her arm. "Do you know what bus I ride?" The nose wrinkle deepens, and her eyebrows furrow in solidarity. "How should I know what bus you ride?" Good question. Why would a disgustingly normal and intimidatingly self-assured 8th grade girl know some strange little 6th grader's bus number? Good point. I let out a ditzy giggle, even though I know it's more pathetic than cute, and then try again. "Do you know which one goes to Bridlewood Apartments?" She shakes her head, and tears prickle the back of my eyes. No, anything but that. I'd rather sew my eyes shut than cry at school. Where'd those even come from anyway? Embarrassment? Stress? Fear I'll miss my bus and Mom will have to leave work to come get me? Fear that I won't miss my bus and I'll have to spend the rest of the day alone? "Are you going to cry?" I shake my head frantically as the girl's face softens. She puts her hand on my shoulder and bends down until our eyes are level, just like my kindergarten teacher used to do. My stringy brown hair, damp with sweat, falls into my eyes. She tucks it back behind my ear and speaks softly. Okay, we'll figure this out. Did you ride the bus this morning? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what number was on the side? I don't know. I was so worried about where I was going to sit inside the bus that I paid absolutely no attention to the outside this morning. It was big, it was yellow, it pulled up to the stop. That was enough for me. Didn't your mommy tell you? My mommy? Well, it's official. I will relive this conversation, writhing in shame, every time I wake up in the middle of the night, as long as I live. I shake my head and pray for an earthquake. My new nanny grabs my pale, scrawny hand in her tanned, capable one, gives it a light squeeze, and proceeds to drag me through the crowd. Do any of y'all live in Bridlewood? She hollers, cupping her mouth like a megaphone with her free hand. Who's going to Bridlewood? She drags me from line to line, hollering about Bridlewood and who's going to help this lost kid. Amused looks run over me like spiders, and snickers ring my ears. What you got there, Bree, lost puppy? Some brilliant up-and-coming comedian calls out. Shut up, Greg. Can't you see she's upset? She drops my hand for a moment, just long enough to tuck in the tag on my shirt, then pulls me onward, ignoring my mumbled protests. Wow, this girl is really kind and helpful and well-meaning. I've never wanted to send someone to the depths of the dismal caverns more. Right when I'm about to supernova from embarrassment, a friendly voice cuts through the crowd. Hey, I live at Bridlewood. What's up? Says a girl as she hurries towards us. Her dark brown corkscrew curls are tinged with gold, bouncing as she walks. Her skin is a light brown, and she has kind eyes, plus a smile that's made of sunshine. She peers around my helper, directing that smile my way, and suddenly I've never wanted to be at the depths of the dismal caverns more. It's Lucy, the very last person I wanted to see me in this predicament. She lives in my apartment complex, and I've been trying to figure out a way to talk to her for the past 2 weeks, and this was not how I saw our first meeting going. The thing is, I really want to be friends with Lucy, like really bad. I never made any close friends in elementary school, but I had this idea over the summer that 6th grade would be my year, to get out there and hunt me down a BFF. The first day of school, halfway through health and fitness class, it became obvious that she was the perfect candidate. She wore an Animal Crossing t-shirt, had Marvel pins all up and down her backpack straps, and every time the teacher looked the other way, she snuck a peek at the graphic novel hidden under her desk. She seemed so cool and nice. The kid next to her dropped a pencil, and she picked it up right away for him. Another kid sneezed, and she handed her a tissue from the little pack she had stashed in her backpack. The problem is, I was never one of those kids who could just go up to someone at recess and be all like, "Want to play?" I was the one digging around in the sand, peeking at people out of the corner of my eye, wishing they'd come up and ask me to play, ask me to be friends. Well, Lucy was coming up to me all right, but not to be friends. Nope, she was just here to witness my failure. Everything okay? Lucy asked me. She's a little confused, Super Nanny Bree informs her. Wasn't sure what line to get in. Oh yeah, it's this one. I saw her this morning. The conversation takes place literally over my head, like a daycare drop-off. Perfect, she passes off my hand. Y'all can buddy up. I think I've got it now. Cringing, I reclaim my hand and step into line. Thanks. My palm is hot and sweaty, and I can feel tears lurking in the corners of my eyes. I swing my backpack around onto my hip and rummage through it, searching for something to do with my hands and face. I shuffle my binder to the back, smooth the bent cover of my sketchbook, and pull out Devon's copy of A Wizard of Earthsea. You don't usually ride the bus, huh? Lucy asks, still smiling. No, I answer, unable to even think about smiling. In fact, until this day, I'd never ridden the bus except for field trips. Devon walked me to my first day of kindergarten and drove me home on my last day of elementary. Even when he was super busy getting ready for college, he still got up and took me every day for the first 2 weeks. But now I'm on my own. Chapter 2. I perch on the edge of the bus seat, making myself tiny and pretending to read. Every time the bus hits a pothole, which is like every 4 seconds, every muscle in my body stiffens and I bear down hard on the seat. There's no way I'm going to let myself go airborne, and risk shoulder bumping, hand grazing, or thigh touching the sweaty football guy sitting next to me in our assigned seat. By the time we pull into Bridlewood, my foot and half my butt are asleep. I shuffle off the bus and slowly climb the steps to my apartment. As I'm lumbering up like a tired old crone, Lucy takes the stairs two at a time and easily beats me to the top. Hey, she, she lays a hand on my arm. Is she going to hold my hand and guide me home? Terrified by this thought, I force out a whispered, "Hey," in return. I'm Lucy, by the way. I know. I mean, I'm Riley, I say, trying not to grimace as pins and needles erupt with each step, washing away the numbness in my foot. It's 2012. Huh? The bus number. It's 2012. I forgot to tell you, and I'm not sure you looked. She's right, I absolutely didn't look. Even after this afternoon's disaster, I forgot. But how does she know that? Because it's obvious I'm an idiot, of course. Thanks. I ride the bus every day, so let me know if you need anything. She stands there a minute, fiddling with the collection of superhero pins on her backpack strap, smiling at me. What does she want me to say? Am I supposed to make a list of things I need right here on the spot? Okay, Lucy, I need a glass of water, a shower, a new mode of transportation, a locker that's not barricaded by eighth graders, someone to sit with at lunch, something to do on the weekends. I don't know, girl. This list could get long. You sure you want to start this? Thanks, I repeat, unsure of what else to actually say. No problem. She flashes me another smile, which I struggle to return. I better go inside now. Oh, yeah, sure. She kind of shrugs and waves all at once, then darts down the stairs. Ugh. It's not that big a deal, Devin says, confidently clueless. Yes, it is. I snap into the phone. I called Devin the second I got in, certain he'd understand. But here he is, not understanding. The girl literally held my hand and paraded me around the school like, who can help this poor lost child? Everybody stared at me, or laughed at me, or laughed and stared at me. One guy called me a puppy. Then Lucy, the super cool one I told you about, took my hand and was all like, I can help this poor lost child. That was nice. No, that was humiliating. I may have literally died from embarrassment. For all you know, you're talking to my ghost right now. I collapse onto the couch, mummifying myself in my pusheen blankie. Devin gave it to me for Christmas, and I love it, but lately I've noticed its fleecy plushiness isn't quite as cozy as it once was. Seriously, Devin continued, I am telling you, as your brother and your friend, that it's not a big deal. No one will even remember it tomorrow. I will, and the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and so on forever. Why didn't anybody tell me my bus number anyway? I told you before I left on Friday afternoon, Devin says, and I texted Mom last night to remind her. To be honest, I don't remember much that he said on Friday, just goodbye. Mom didn't tell me, I huff. She was at work when I texted, so she might have forgotten, or she thought you'd look before you got on the stop this morning. Don't go fussing at her about it, okay? Of course not, but you know, if she got me a phone like I asked, you could have texted me. I don't know why she won't. Devin sighs. You know why. It's not a won't, it's a can't. You're right, I'm being a jerk. Without warning, my eyes fill up. I blink hard, but a big fat tear escapes and rolls down my cheek anyway. It's just, I don't like middle school any better than I liked elementary, and I wish you were here. I know, but think. When I graduate and get my big job designing games for EA, I can buy you all the phones you want. I let out a big gusty sigh of my own directly into my sad little landline phone, hopefully blasting his ear with my misery. I'll be home for winter break before you know it. We'll start a new game. Oh yeah, Dungeon Master? Which one? We'd finished the Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign right before he left, so now my poor elf sorceress was in limbo until Devin got back. It'd be months before we'd play another game of Dungeons and Dragons. Months and months of stone-cold sucky reality. Not sure. You pick. Okay. I gotta head out. I got orientation in a few. Call you tomorrow, okay? Okay, I repeat, this time in a small, extra sad voice. Maybe if I sniffle, he'll stay on the phone. Hey, don't forget, we're going to WinterCon, just 4 short months. Sniffle success. Devin can never resist sad Riley. Yeah, really, I ask, even though I already know the answer. We've been talking about it since last year, when he and his girlfriend Evie let me tag along. Every winter, the Natural 20, best comic book store ever, by the way, puts on a huge event for gamers and cosplayers. It is amazing. And at least Devin will be home for that. Of course. Maybe this year we'll even dress up. Evie's got some ideas. Like what? Like, I'll tell you later. I really have to go, Ri-Fi. He busts out my old nickname, and I know I'm through. I love you. Try to have fun, okay? I'll call you tomorrow. Later, sis. Then click. The sniffle, which was not a fake sniffle, by the way, threatens to grow into a sob. I swallow it down and slam the phone back on the receiver. I still can't believe he left me. But he did, and here I am, on literally opposite sides of the country, pining away in Crubby, Florida, while he's out there having a grand old time in California. I guess I better get used to the isolation and loneliness. The hours stretch out before me, 4.5 of them to be exact. Hours with no one to talk to but myself, and I've been trying not to do that lately. Instead, I roam the apartment, assessing the situation. Snacks are limited: 3 baby carrots, a half-ripe banana, and a crumb-filled corner of a Ruffles bag. Without cable, afternoon TV for wallowing is even more limited: little kid cartoons or sad middle-aged talk shows. Homework is, as always, homework. Yeah, I'm going to take a pass on that one. It's not like Devin's here breathing down my neck, making sure each and every problem is completed with a freshly sharpened pencil and 100% accuracy. So I step over my backpack and head to the almost office. The almost office is really just the corner of our living room with a small white desk wedged between our faded green couch and slightly tilted bookshelf. There are way too many books on it, and we all know it could collapse at any second. However, we also know that moving those books could cause the collapse, so we just leave it be, overstocked and wonky. A rolling chair surrounded by worn tracks in the carpet sits in front of Devin's first computer, a mechanical fossil on the verge of collapse. I drop into the chair and jam my finger into the power button. It glows blue, but my monitor stays black, so I spin a few waiting spins in the chair. Right on the verge of dizziness, my feet slam on the carpet brakes. I stop, eye to eye, with the kitty cat calendar tacked to the wall on my right. Devin's neat black inked writing fills the squares, mapping out the entire month. August 2nd, back to school shopping. August 11th, Riley back to school. August 20th, Devin and Riley movie. August 22nd, Devin to UCA. I have a dentist appointment on the 27th, the electricity bill's due the 28th, and Mom works like every day. I flip through the months, past the tubby gray cat staring at a plate of donuts, a black cat playing in the leaves, and an orange tabby parading around in turkey feathers. The reminders fade, and by the time I hit December, a fluffy white Persian under the Christmas tree, there's only one, and it's in bright red ink. December 6th, Devin comes home. I let the pages fall. Rows of empty boxes flutter down like the world's saddest flipperama, and my chest gets that weird feeling I hate. It's the crushing thing that makes me feel like my ribs have twisted and broken, folding into a flattened heart and bone sandwich. Then fat tears spring to my eyes, and this time I let them go. They're hot and stinging and determined to all come out at once, accompanied by throat-splitting sobs and unbeautiful snotting. I cry until it gets old, which, to be honest, is a lot sooner than I expected. Turns out a good cry isn't as satisfying when no one's around to hand you tissues and bring you chocolate. Using my palms as Kleenex, I wipe my face as I flip through the calendar again. I take another look at that red ink at December 6th. It only takes 4 flips. Once the kitties are done swimming, eating donuts, playing in the leaves, and posing with turkey feathers, we'll be ready for that Christmas tree. And Devin. Only 4 kitty cats to go. I can do this. Probably. Maybe. Minutes later, after some whirring and blinking, the computer finally boots. The background image is a picture of me and Devin outside the movies the Wednesday before he left. He has a big old grin on his face, and I'm quite obviously fake smiling. He must have snuck it on there to be sweet, but really, that's the last thing I want to see right now. I right-click and reset the background to my original picture. It's a huge red dragon annihilating a village with white-hot fire. Villagers are running from their little thatched huts in terror, and the dragon's grinning like, "What's up? Y'all like my breath?" I sit back and admire the image. Much better and definitely more suited to my mood. I just love me a good dragon adventure. Not that I've ever actually gotten to have one outside books and movies. That's my one and only issue with Dungeons & Dragons. There aren't enough dragons. I mean, there's dungeons for days, and I fought pirates, ogres, trolls, gnolls, necromancers, animated skeletons, and even flesh jellies. You. But Devin's never let me go head to head with an actual dragon. He says they're way too overpowered for Arwenna, my beautiful but low level elf sorceress. Supposedly, he didn't down his first white dragon until he was level 8. So Arwenna's level 3 magic missiles would be like gnats bouncing off a dragon's scaly hide. But maybe, just maybe, he says, I'll be ready to fight a green dragon by the time I'm level 5. Huh, like I would even try magic missiles on a dragon. I'm pretty sure I could come up with a better plan than that. A smart, sneaky trap like one, like, come on and have some faith in your sister, Devin. Oh, and how am I supposed to even reach level 5? Now that Devin's off in California 92% of the year, I'll probably be 30 years old before I get anywhere near that sad sack little greenie. Arwenna's going to be stuck, just like me, spinning her wheels until he gets back. It's not like I have any friends to play with. At least I get to pick our next campaign. If I've got to wait 4 months to play, it better be good. I hit the Google and search up Dungeons & Dragons campaigns that actually have dragons. The vast majority of these dragons will eat me for lunch and leave me with nothing but a tear-stained character sheet to bury. But dragons are so cool. I scroll through a bit more in awe of all the different dragon types and imagining how awesome it would be to face one when it hits me. Maybe I don't want to fight a dragon. Maybe I want to be a dragon. I'm going to write a campaign, and I'm going to be the dungeon master this time. The Dragon Master Dungeon Master. So, this book, Roll for Initiative, very fun. You can come read it in the CMS library among a lot of other good new books that we have in. So come on down.